You know, we've talked about this often. Come as you are, but please don't stay that way. That's the system we live in. Yahweh says you can come as you are. Everybody gets to come as they are. If he calls them and draws them, that don't matter how ugly you may be before you got here. The whole point is that we expect, and he expects, that you're going to change. Now, not necessarily overnight, but that over time you're going to change. The problem is, we don't like change. Change is awkward. Change is painful. Change is uncomfortable. Change is the unknown. I've always been this way. I am afraid of what's it going to be like if I change. I'll be going into an uncharted area. I mean, some of you have had to move. Some of that was scary. That's big change. Some of you have had your lives change because you got married, or because the person you were married to either died or passed away or something. Change. Or you had children. Change. Or your children grew up and left the nest. Change. These are all big changes. Or careers. Change. You know, if you think about the hierarchy of stresses, there's a chart that's been put out that talks about the things that are most stressful. You know what they all are related to? Big change. Like number one, I believe, is the loss of a loved one. What bigger change is that than to have a loved one that you had with you no longer there? It's a huge change. Physically moving from one location to another, huge change. And by the way, when you're pregnant, they tell you to avoid these things because that will stress your system while you're having the baby and all that kind of stuff. So you want to minimize the amount of things on that list that you're doing. Not the time to buy a new car or change where you live or change your career, you know what I'm saying? Because they say that's very stressful. Well, guess what? Change can be stressful. And Yahweh's asking you to change a whole lot of stuff. So that can be stressful. But you know what the cure to the stressful part is? He says, if you fear me, there's no stress. If you fear me, there's that trust. It becomes shalom. It's relaxed. And we read verses earlier today that said that, where if you would just trust me, there would be shalom. They wouldn't have all these issues going on here. I believe that was in either Hosea or in Proverbs when we were covering that. Okay? But whatever it was in the previous verse, he said, just trust me. There shouldn't be any stress. So if you're stressing and you're going through changes, guess what? You might not be fearing him and trusting him enough. Oh, but I'm not sure what he's doing in my life because I don't like it. So how do I know it's really of him? Well, that's a different problem. Get counsel. Maybe counsel can help you see whether it's of him. He may be asking some things of you you're not comfortable with. And if he's not, he will at some point. He will ask you to do some things you're not really comfortable to do. He has to grow you and stretch you. He's got a lot of big plans for you. And you know what? You're going to have to grow a lot and stretch a lot to be able to be ready for those plans. And so are you willing to take all of that in stride, so to speak, and be moldable in his hands and not stress and not get upset? Oh, but what he's doing takes me out of my comfort zone. Oh, look, some of you in this room, actually quite a few of you, had to make a decision to leave family and friends and other people behind. You know, Shira came from New Hampshire. They came from Texas. They came from Ohio. We have people that have moved from all kinds of places to be here. We have people that are in Texas and other places now thinking of moving here. That's a big change. Okay? There are people that I may ask at some point to quit their job and come work in the ministry. Guess what? That's a big change. That's going to take a lot of faith and trust. But how do you leave that comfortable place? That's really hard to do. How do you leave a comfortable place? You know what? They even talk often about how even the person who's banging his head on the wall can get comfortable at that. Okay? Whatever we're doing, if we're doing it long enough, even if it's painful, it becomes comfortable because it's the known. Okay? That which I know, even if it's wrong, is always more comfortable than that which I don't know. Because it's that fear of the unknown. So where's the trust and the faith? You know, Abba may move us all. Matter of fact, I expect him to at some point. Are you going to want to move? Probably not. Some of you are ready to move now. That's because you've already gotten uncomfortable enough where you are. But some of you may have to leave a place you're very comfortable. And what do you do with that? And you have family members pulling at you. My mother calls almost every other so many weeks because she wants us to come visit, because she's not getting any younger and she wants to see her grandkids. And she actually told me when I was first getting married that I could live anywhere until I had kids, then I had to move close. She did. I'm not making this up. She said, I don't care where you live until there's children, and then once there's children, you got to get near where I am. And of course, we've disobeyed my mother because I'm obeying my Heavenly Father, who does trump my mother. Okay? He's got higher authority. But yet, how many of us are being pulled by children and husbands or wives or brothers and sisters, other things, and it's not just about moving things, but about anything. How many of us are being pulled and not letting Yahweh be the one that pulls? It says you have to love family less than you love him, by comparison. And I'm only saying all these things not because some of you are going through it now, but because you will go through it. You will go through it at some point. And it's all about, are you willing to give up your comfort for him and fear him and trust him and not fear, but I'll never get to see them like I used to. Well, that's true. Or with the job, I won't have the security I had before. Well, that's true. I have zero job security from a physical, fleshly point of view. I have the best job security from a spiritual point of view. Because if I'm really hired by my boss, the creator of the universe, I've got job security that can't be beat. Provided I'm doing what he says to do. Okay? Because my boss won't hesitate to fire me either. But that's the whole thing. Can we trust? Can we have the faith? Can we fear him enough to go and do all these things that way? Can we move forward in trusting him? Or are we going to not understand that those who do not change don't fear him? Because he's going to put us through some pretty serious changes. Are you up for that challenge? Often my wife, we joke about this because my name on Pal Talk is Up to the Challenge. So when people say about being up to the challenge, I say, no, I'm up to the challenge. Because that's actually my name on Pal Talk. At least it used to be. I've changed it now to Rabbi Steve. But, we all need to be up to the challenge. Because he's going to challenge us, stretch us, grow us. Amen?